And before we shift over to that next slide, or afterwards, it doesn't matter. I was reading. I saw something that came across my desk a couple of days ago about a guy. This lady, I think it was talking about how that she had met at an airport. She was at the cab stand, and this cab came up to her. He's next in line, and she noticed that this cab was spotless on the outside. It was nice and clean and pretty. And the cab driver got up out of the car, came around to her, and she noticed that his shirt was all nice, pressed, creased, starched. Pants, same thing, just very clean. And he was friendly. He gave her a card, and he says, while I put your luggage in the back, would you read my mission statement? And he had this card. And his mission statement on this card was to take his passenger to their appointed place in the most direct, cheapest, and safest way possible. In that simple little mission statement. And so she got into the cab, and he said, could I offer you some coffee? Okay, some people here would have just jumped right at that. Coffee, sure. I've got a thermos here. And she said, no, I'd really rather have a soft drink, just thinking, this is a cab, this is a taxi. And he says, sure, I have Coke, I have Diet Coke, and I have Lassi. And of course, I did not know what Lassi was. I had to look it up. First I looked at it, Lassi. They misspelled Lassie. I was looking for the dog. No, Lassi. You know what that, does anyone here know what Lassi is? I had to look it up. It's a drink. It's a yogurt-type drink, okay? And a kind of a yogurty, buttermilk type drink. And you can put fruit in it and make it really nice. It's kind of that sweet, sour, that sort of, it's a South Asian drink, okay? And so she said, well, I took a Lassi because I didn't know what it was. So, adventurous soul. Well, as she's talking to this guy, she says, well, how, this is a lot different. And he says, oh, yes, he said, got to looking around at all of my other cab drivers here, and, how they complain all the time. And I looked at that, and I decided, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to be that guy. I want to give back something of myself, and I want to, he says, so I looked at all those guys, and I said, they're just ducks. Have you ever been around ducks? They quack all the time, and they just seem like they're complaining all the time. He said, I decided I wanted to be an eagle, and I wanted to fly above all of that. And he said, so I started cleaning up my car. I got it cleaned up, and she had noted that the inside of the car was just as spotless as the outside was. And so if you've ever driven in taxi cabs, just in any major city of the world, it just doesn't happen that way, not in a normal taxi cab. These guys don't care. They just drive. And so anyway, she got to talking to him, and she asked him, he said, well, how long have you been doing this? And he said, just about 2 years. And she said, well, I assume that since you're still doing it, it's been profitable for you. And he said, oh, yes. He said, he says, the first year, I doubled my income. And he said, this year, I expect to quadruple my income. And that is all because of return customers. They call specifically for him. And so here is a guy that he was, he didn't want to be the duck. He wanted to be the eagle. But I'm telling you, I'm just kind of making this, changing it around a little bit. This guy was a giver, okay? He was one of these kind that, okay, he was just not going to drive and take the money. He was going to give back. He was going to do something above and beyond. And what did it do? It was very profitable for him. People asked for it. They want something like that. He was a good servant.